phonies. I'm Crazy Pretzel coming to you live with my ECW review, commenting the very last edition of ECW from last night. Yesterday, of course, being February 16th, 2010. Now, I know that some of you wanted to listen to my amigo, cousin Cheeto, do the review, but guess what? The last edition of ECW is going to have me involved in it.
Excuse me! Excuse me!
Hey, poser, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. This is the very last ever ECW, and I am going to be here at full force to bring it to all the fans out there in the Unsquared Network. Crazy Pretzel, if you want to ride on my coattails for this one, I don't mind. More the merrier. Let's kick it off with ECW This Week in My Backyard of Kansas City, Missouri. ECW's final resting place. We kick off the show with the Unified Tag Team title match with The Miz and Big Show, or Miz Show, or Show Miz, or whatever they're calling themselves. I don't know. Stupid name. Versus Goldust and Yoshi Tatsu. Did we really think that Goldust and Yoshi Tatsu were going to walk out of here with the Unified Tag titles? I mean, maybe if you put like Shelton, Benjamn, and Vladimir Kozlov, or somebody else, it would have been more believable. But Goldust and Yoshi? Ain't happening. Sorry. It was an okay match, but it's pretty predictable. Crazy Pretzel, what you got to say about this one?
We're gonna go into my thoughts here. So we start the show off with Show Miz versus Golden Yoshi. If any of you ever played Super Mario World, there's different color Yoshis in that game, and the golden one has the ability to do jumping, stomping. But anyway, Golden Yoshi, that being Goldust and Yoshi Tatsu. So this was a really, really good matchup, I thought. Lots of back and forth action between both teams. Golden Yoshi got good offense in the beginning of it, and then till Big Show came in and headbutted Goldust, and then they took over for a while, and then eventually they got a tag in, and then I think they tagged in Yoshi, and then Big Show still was beating up Yoshi for a while. Yoshi's kicks weren't doing much. And then eventually Goldust got a tag in, and then Goldust came in and was on fire, you know, like a burning blaze.
Goldust was flaming. The understatement of the century. Goldust has always been flaming. You know, I see how this is going to go. You know, you're going to be my Michael Cole for this edition. You're going to be the play-by-play, and I'm going to be the smooth, experienced commentator. That's okay. Keep it going, Crazy Pretzel. What you got for me?
He was cleaning house until Big Show grabbed Yoshi and chucked him over the top rope, and then Goldust was punching Miz in the corner, and then Big Show jacked Goldust in the gut, and then Miz hit the skull-crushing finale, as Michael Cole calls it. I don't know. It's not really a skull-crushing move, it's more like a face-crushing move, but whatever. So they hit that move, get the 3 count, Show Miz retains the tag titles. It was a very well done match, much better than the Raw matchup they had. So, great way to start the show, and the match went a long time, too.
Next segment of the show, we go to a backstage promo with Tiffany plugging NXT, because they're going to need all the plugging they can get to sell this crap. Tiffany, of course, doing a great job starting things up.
Hey, Cheeto.
What?
Want to hear something awesome? I heard that Tiffany is going to be in the next edition of Playboy in the lingerie section, so I know you're going to be checking that out.
You know, I am kind of excited about Tiffany doing that Playboy thing. The only problem is I'm hoping to get the real deal. Alright. So then Tiffany, you know, she's looking fine in the back, plugging NXT, as I was saying. And then out of nowhere,
Zack Ryder, woo woo woo, you know it. He shows up with Rosa, who's looking fine. And he was complaining that he wasn't part of, you know, this last edition of ECW, like in the main event. Because I guess last week it was, he lost to Christian, and then Tiffany was like, get out of here, you know, and then Zack's like, just because that, you know, I'm not going to be in the main event, it's Extreme Rules, I'm going to be showing up at some point. So.
First off, Crazy Pretzel, you need to learn your place. Quit interrupting me. This is my show, and I am talking about Zack Ryder. Woo, 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 you know it. Alright, moving on to the next part of the show, which is unfortunately on the last episode of ECW, you have the Abraham Washington Show. You spit in my face. I have been calling since September, and you do this to spit in my face? How dare you, Vince McMahon? If I could take these glasses off, I would tell you to look in my eyes and tell me why. Why on Vince's green earth would you put Abraham Washington on the last ECW? You know what? I'm not even going to talk about this. Crazy Pretzel, you talk about this.
And in my opinion, this was probably the worst Abraham Washington show I've ever seen. Because Tony Atlas didn't even crack any jokes, man. No jokes, no fun, no nothing. So, and basically Abraham Washington was saying that he's a free agent and any show can pick him up like anybody would want to. I'd rather pick up this silver dollar than pick up his punk ass. But anyway, so, he says that he talked to Vince McMahon and his guest host is going to be the highest, most entertaining person in WWE. And who is it? Himself.
Wait, you have the most entertaining guy in sports entertainment, and it's Abraham Washington? For crying out loud, the guy can't get 2 sentences straight without Tony Atlas picking up his crap.
So he's about to interview himself on this show, and then Shelton Benjamn comes out and says, reiterates that all of the wrestlers in ECW are going to be free agents. And then he's about to say something else, and then Vance Archer comes out and basically just says, whatever show you're on, I hope I'm not on it, because, we're going to keep feuding. So, and then Caylen, Croft, and Barretta come out, and, I don't know, they say that this is boring with those guys, and then Kozlov comes out and starts talking in Russian, and then, I don't know, Archer said something to him, and then made Kozlov mad, and then Kozlov eventually starts fighting Archer, and then fighting Barretta and Croft, and then Shelton helps him, and they clean house. I don't know, what do you think, Cheeto?
Next, we go, there is a commercial for NXT, and there was, The Miz, and his rookie was Daniel Bryan, which is actually Brent Danielson from ROH. This is gonna be funny. I might actually... Okay, I had to fully kind of compose myself and get myself back together here. Let's continue with this review. We move on to the main event. Christian versus Ezekiel Jackson, an Extreme Rules match for the ECW title. Pretty good back and forth match, kind of like the Royal Rumble. I don't think this got as much time as a Rumble, but a good back and forth. In the middle of the match, Zack Ryder came out, and he tried to make his impact where Christian Cage, of course, countered it and knocked his block off. Rosa Mendez gets in the ring, slaps Christian, and then out of nowhere comes my girl, Tiff. Tiff comes out and spears the mess out of Rosa Mendez. If you haven't seen it, see it. Tiffany just tore the crap out of Rosa Mendez. This is why Tiffany should still be on the show, because she can go. That's my girl right there. Plenty of back and forth action. Of course, later on in the match, William Regal gets involved. Christian hits him prettier on him. Christian turns around. Of course, the table's already set up when they were struggling in the corner when Ezekiel Jackson was going to superplex him through the table. Then Christian turns around after unprettying Regal, and then out of nowhere, Zeke hits him with the Uranagi right through the table, hits the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. And your final ECW champion, Ezekiel Jackson. Granted, this probably should have happened at the Royal Rumble, but hey, we're ending it on a title change. Why not? This will give Zeke, if he holds on to the title and he goes to like Raw or SmackDown, he'll be like, hey, I'm the ECW champion. Even though it's a debunked title, or lame duck title, or whatever you want to call it, he still gets a little push. What did you think about it, Crazy Pretzel Pants?
Now, this was a good matchup, but for an Extreme Rules matchup, I thought it was a little bit lackluster. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more spots, but, WWE being PG, you ain't gonna see much. Kind of shocking, but in the end, I like him, but unfortunately, it's not gonna mean much unless he goes to Raw or SmackDown, and then they kind of be like, well, he was the last ECW champion ever, trying to give him a little bit of momentum. That's the way I see it.
You know, Posa, that is exactly what I just said. Make up some original ideas, will ya?
Well, thanks for having me a part of the show, even though I wasn't invited. I just showed up. And, Cheeto, even though we may not be doing ECW anymore, I'm still gonna find a way to get involved in your stuff every now and then. Yeah. So, thanks for watching, phonies. Peace out.
Alright, well, now that that trash has been dealt with, ladies and gentlemen, I am sad to bring you that this is the final of the ECW reviews of Grumpy Cheetos. But in closing on the ECW review, I am Grumpy Cheeto, and for the last time, I am